Good morning and welcome to day 88 of Going from Heavy to Light. So yesterday I did not do the work and I want to talk about that. So here's what happened. All was going along fine, and then in the late afternoon I felt like eating this bread that we've gotten recently from Costco. It's got like 21 grains and seeds in it. Each slice has 120 calories, and each one has 5 grams of protein and 5 grams of fiber. It's got lots of vitamins and minerals. So it is not junk food. It is a healthful type food for a bread. Anyway, I felt like eating 2 slices of it. And that was fine. It was not a big deal. So that's what, 240 calories extra. Yeah, not too bad. But then later, around 4:30, I guess it was, I had my juice, and that's what I, a lot of times have for dinner, and I like to, because of the intermittent fasting that I do, I like to stop eating around 4:30, 5:30. So I normally would have been done at 4:30 with that juice. But a little while later, I felt like eating 2 more pieces of that bread, and I did. So then, after that, I noticed I was really in the mood for a bowl of oatmeal. Now, every morning for breakfast, I have oatmeal with blueberries and some walnuts and flax seeds and like a nectarine. And that's exactly what I had as my, let's call it a second dinner. So that's another bunch of calories on there. And I had already had my 2 chocolates for the day after lunch, and I had threw 2 more on there. So I don't know how many extra calories I had for the day. It doesn't matter whether I'd call it a binge or not a binge. It's not really about that. It's the fact that I chose not to do the work. And over these 88 days, you've probably heard me say many times, like, this food addiction thing doesn't actually, in my opinion, doesn't actually go away, but it's like it takes some work every day, and the work is not hard, but it does take some work every day to stay calm, to tend to this, I don't know, I'm just going to call it an eating disorder. To tend to it, it takes some care and some work, and I generally do that every day. So I am just acknowledging that yesterday I didn't feel like doing the work, and instead, I guess what I chose is to eat those foods that I was really in the mood for without asking myself, will I be happy when it's over? Right? There's a very big difference between eating something and enjoying the pleasure of the taste of it at that moment and saying, oh, I'll be happy eating this. But it's very different to be happy when it's over, where you're eating something you're enjoying, paying attention to it and getting satisfaction. But when it's over, you feel satisfied and comfortable both physically and emotionally. And that's where I kind of let go of the reins yesterday. I wasn't asking myself, how will I feel when it's over? If I had, then I don't know, maybe I wouldn't have eaten as much as I did. Whatever it was, it's what I did. One thing that came from it that I realized is that I ran into this maybe a month or so ago, and I had talked about it, this need for starch. So obviously my body was craving, between having more oatmeal and having 4 slices of bread, there was something my body was looking for, whether it was my taste buds or I think more it was missing starch, because the only starch I really ever have for the most part is oatmeal every day. I do have beans, and lentils, legumes and that sort of thing, which I guess is a little starchy, but it's just an acknowledgement to me that maybe what would serve me better, so that I don't run into something like I did yesterday, maybe what would serve me better is to be a little bit more focused on having more starches on a regular basis. So maybe having some sweet potatoes or more quinoa or things like that. So, okay, so that was yesterday. And when I woke up this morning, look, I had a choice. I had a few different choices. I could say, oh, well, I messed up. I might as well mess up again today and just go for the ride. Or I could say, all right, I messed up and I should drink 10 glasses of water this morning, go to the gym for 2 hours and eat 800 calories today to try to make up for it. And I wasn't going to do that, nor was I going to mess up. So the other option was to get myself back into the day. right? I look at it as like a white line on a slab of cement, right? A white painted line. And I'm normally on one side of that line, and binge eating and food addiction is on the other side of that line. But what I feel like the visual for me is that yesterday I kind of scuffed up that white line a little bit, right? I muddied it just a little bit. And so instead of making it muddier by doing those first two options, I wanted to choose to repaint the white line so it's just as bright as it's been before. So when I woke up this morning, what I decided to do, and thanks to my son who suggested I get on the scale because I wasn't going to, but what I saw is I was up 3 pounds. Now that was from 2 days ago because I didn't weigh myself yesterday. We had gone out Saturday night. The soup I had probably was a little saltier than I would have liked, as delicious as it was. So I didn't weigh myself yesterday because I figured it's probably just going to be up a little bit. So the 3 pounds I'm seeing today is probably a combination of Saturday night's soup and having too many calories yesterday. But I didn't literally gain 3 pounds of fat because to gain a pound of fat, you need to be taking in 3,500 calories more per day than you're burning. So I didn't take in an extra 10,500 calories more than I've burned over the last day or two. So I'm not getting caught up on that. But what I decided to do, obviously I wasn't thrilled about seeing I was up 3 pounds. They'll come off, but I wanted to get right back into today. And what that looked like is it was around 6:15 when I woke up, and I decided to just go for a walk for an hour, right? Instead of laying in bed, do the opposite of the impulse. The impulse is, oh, I want to lay in bed, I'm feeling a little uncomfortable, whatever. Got out of bed, took a walk for an hour, came home and had some water. So I am back on track, and that, that's what it is. It's just, as I said, this gets back to doing the work every day. When someone does it, including me, it's great, it's easy, it's calm, it's wonderful, but it is a slippery slope because if you don't do the work, you backslide. So that's really it for today. I look forward to another good day and painting that white line, and I will see you tomorrow.